My name is Leticia Saenz. I am the Manager of Public Affairs for Atmos Energy. We're your natural gas company. So a fun fact about me is that I love playing tennis, and I just recently attended Wimbledon in London this past summer, which was one of my goals and dreams. So I love playing tennis, and I just started playing pickleball as well. I work for Atmos Energy, the natural gas company, but that's not necessarily my whole life. I did mention that I love playing tennis, but I have always had a love for books, and I still do to this day. And so I read so many books on Libby, my trusted little app. And so I grew up in a small town called McAllen, and one of the things, and I know it may be one of the later questions, but it asked me about one of my favorite memories, and I always remember going to our local public library in McAllen, Texas, and just getting out of the heat and being able to read. I've always had a love for books, and as I've grown older, it has continued, and I find that it takes up my time in the evenings when I travel. I just love having access to books on my trusty little iPad. And so I never married, don't have any kids, but I love to be a supporter of education and of reading and libraries in general. I read a lot of fiction books.
Okay.
And so I love just, learning about people's lives that may not necessarily be real, but a lot of it is somewhat real. You just think, look, these types of things actually do happen in real life, so it's just interesting to me. It would probably be a Judy Blume book. And I don't have a favorite Judy Blume book, but Judy Blume was my favorite author growing up. And I read so many of her books, and I felt like my sisters and my friends and I could all relate to her. And I feel like even the kids in this generation could also relate to her. And I don't know that all of them know about her, but she had so many great books. They were an easy read, but they were also about growing up and being a young woman and just life lessons. And so it would probably be something by Judy Blume. Oh my goodness. Well, there's been so many things that I've done. Probably one of the biggest things, and I don't know necessarily it's the proudest thing, but it's really exciting to jump out of a plane.
Wow.
I did that in Las Vegas a couple years back, celebrating a friend's birthday, and I didn't think it was something I would ever do. It was something that I overcame my fear of. I'm not afraid of heights, but I never envisioned myself jumping out of a plane. And I did it for my friend's birthday. There was a group of us, and I feel proud that I was actually brave enough to do it. And once I was out there flying, as you will, it was so wonderful and exciting and exhilarating, and I would probably do it again. It's important to overcome your fears because you think that there's things that you can't do, and if you try really hard and if you speak things out loud, they will happen. And so I think so many kids, I had an interesting story about my nephew. He's 6 years old. I was with him on his first day of school, and he had a small project to do for first grade, putting together some things inside a little bag for show and tell so that the classmates could get to know them. And he started to cry, and he thought it was too hard for him. And when I broke it down, he felt overwhelmed. He saw this list of things that he had to do, and he felt like it was too difficult. And when I sat down and just went through each item, it was actually fun items. It was things like something that you enjoy doing. Put something that you enjoy doing in a bag. Put a picture of you as a baby. Put a picture of your family in the bag. Things like that. A game that you like to play. And so when we broke it down and he was able to do it, he was so excited he accomplished something. But his first instinct was fear, and he cried. And once we got it done, he was happy and smiling, and I'm sure that his show and tell went really well at his school. Unfortunately, I haven't heard about the results yet, but that's why it's really important to address your fears, because you can really do anything that you set your mind to. Well, I live not too far from Cedar Park. I'm not actually in the city limits and not too far, so I always knew Cedar Park had a library. I did Leadership Cedar Park, and so I took a tour of the old library, and then one day, Kristen, you reached out to me and asked me about the capital campaign, mentioned that they were putting together funds for a new library, and it fits so well with Atmos's pillars. One of our pillars is pre-K through third grade reading initiatives, making sure that kids are reading on grade level when they take their STAR test in school. And so I just felt like it was just a great fit. Putting books in people's hands is so important to me as a person and also to Atmos Energy as a company. And that's how I first heard about it. Absolutely. So we have 3 pillars, as I mentioned. One of them is pre-K through 3rd grade, so that kids are reading on grade level by the time that they take their 3rd grade assessment test. Our second pillar is food pantries. We really want to make sure that people are eating, that kids are eating. So we know that kids learn better when their tummies are full. And so we want to make sure that people have what they need in their homes as far as food. And our last pillar is what we call our heroes. And that would be our fire, our police, our first responders, our veterans, things of that nature. We work really closely with a lot of fire departments and emergency management departments anytime that there are any issues out in the community. And so we really try to focus on our efforts on those 3 pillars. And our initiative is called Fueling Safe and Thriving Communities. I think what inspired me was just that this was going to be something for the entire community. So it doesn't matter what age you are. You could be a senior, you could be a baby, you could be elementary school, middle school, adults. That really inspired me, is that everything that this library stands for is for everybody to use. And so I really, really loved that it was for the entire community. And that really inspired me to go back to the higher ups and make sure to secure that funding to be able to participate. I hope that our gift makes it possible for everyone to come to the library, no matter, I mentioned no matter their age, but also their income, no matter where they live, that somehow they can find a way to get here and they can access all these amazing things. The first time I ever took a tour of this facility, I was just blown away by all the amazing things that you can do. It's not just a place to read books, it is so much more. There are so many inspiring things here, and I want the entire community to be able to access it. And that's my dream for this library, is that anyone who wants it has access to it. This is an amazing place, and so many people can learn from it. I think this is a great example for other small towns or big towns to get access to this and do this in their communities. Our people, we serve Cedar Park. Our people live here, they work, they play, they live here in Cedar Park, and so we're just happy to be part of the community and make that happen for you. Oh, I love that it's so friendly. No matter where you go, everyone welcomes you. I love that it's small town, but big town to me too. It's a little small enough town that you get to know people, but big enough that you're not always doing the same thing. There's just so many things to do. And with this space, it just makes that even more possible. One space, but so many things that you can do. You can come here 10 times and do something different every single time you come. If you can read, you can do anything. I mean, your imagination can take you so many different places. And also, we just want people to do well in school. And so I think reading just really pushes that. We focus a lot on summer reading programs as well, because we know that a lot of the kids regress and maybe don't read enough during the summer months. And so we have found, or we have heard, that when people go back to school, they're not reading at the same grade level. So we really want to push students to read during the summer, and we try to sponsor summer reading programs so that the kids can still read during the summer months when they don't have someone telling them, when they're not going to school every single day or have someone giving them assignments. And so we really want to support that as well. I think the sooner that you can get books in people's hands, the better. And so this is one of the first times we sponsored the Books for Babies program, and we're super excited to be a part of it. I would say that they should give as much as they possibly can. Again, this place is a place for everyone, and that is what I love about this donation. And I mentioned that earlier, but I think I would just stress that to anyone who's thinking about giving, just that this is not just for one demographic, not for one age, not for one gender, it's for everyone. And so I would highly encourage them to donate. There's so much that they could give to. There's so many programs, so many things to access. And so I can't imagine somebody coming here and not finding something that they love and would want to give, because they could find something that they enjoy doing, here at the library. And it's not just books.